Welcome. Today's special is a large pepperoni.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Game Night in the North. We're a TV show that's all about games, but we're definitely not a game show. My name's Jason, and I'm going to be your master of ceremonies who never stands on ceremony. What are we going to do today? We're going to be playing one of my favorite board games of all time, the Red Dragon Inn from SLUGFEST Games. Joining me today are going to be three panelists who all love games as much as I do, and we're going to have a blast playing this game, reviewing it, hopefully teach you how to play in the process, and then at the end of it, we're going to vote on one unlucky person who's going to have to join me here, but they'll be sitting in the hot seat. Now, you don't want to be sitting in the hot seat at the end of the episode, because if you are, you're going to have to eat some delicious hot wings that have been covered with Heartbeat hot sauce from a company up in Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canadian made, and they're going to burn really bad when we eat them. So it's going to be a lot of fun and a little bit crazy. So let's take a moment, we're going to bring in the panelists, and then we'll get this action underway. So joining me today, I've brought in three expert panelists. When I say expert, I mean they're a lot of fun to hang out with, and since we're playing games today, I feel optimistic about my chances. Joining me at the far end is Troy Hood. Troy's an experienced dungeon master. He's been playing role-playing games such as Dungeons & Dragons for years and years, which means he's very experienced at helping make people's fantasies come true. Hello, Troy.
Hey, thanks for having me. Hopefully I don't lose. I can't afford to lose.
Troy's referring, of course, to the crazy, insane hot sauce that someone's going to have to eat if they come in last today. But that's not something we need to worry about right now. Sitting next to Troy is someone who I've gotten to know through my work in life, but he's become actually quite a good friend, is Aaron. Aaron is someone who works in the game industry in general. He works for a company that's a wholesaler, so he's got a variety of experience playing a whole ton of great games. And I'm really excited to see how he enjoys Red Dragon Inn today, because from what I understand, you haven't actually played it before, is that right?
Yes, I haven't had the pleasure to play this particular game yet, which is rare in my line of work, but I'm willing to dive right in and have some fun, and hopefully lose.
Perfect, a willing victim. I mean volunteer. It's going to be great. Now sitting next to my friend Aaron is another great friend of mine. This is Matt Clayton. Matt I brought in today for a couple reasons. One is Matt is one of the most experienced people I know when it comes to hot sauces. He's eaten some crazy things that would blow your mind. He's also, him and I share a big passion for games. We've played games together for years, be it card games and board games and whatnot. So I'm really excited to have you joining us here today, Matt. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, you're very welcome. I'm really excited to be here myself. It should be a good time. I hope to win, but I wouldn't mind a hot wing at the end anyway.
Fair enough, fair enough. So we're going to jump right into one of my favorite games here, the Red Dragon Inn. I'll just take a minute here to explain the basic premise for the game for those of you who haven't seen it before. Red Dragon Inn is an exciting game set in a fantasy world where each player was able to select a character based on the classic role-playing archetypes. So for example, I'm playing Gurky the Sneak, your traditional thief kind of person who's going to sneak around in the background and try and swipe some gold when nobody's looking. Matt, who are you playing today?
Today, me play Gog,
Gog.
the half-ogre.
Half-ogre Gog. This is going to be fun. I love it when people play Gog. Aaron, who did you draw for your character of the
I
day?
drew Dimly the Dwarf.
Dimly the Dwarf. Excellent. And Troy, who do you got?
I am actually playing Fiona the Volatile.
Oh.
So this is going to be interesting for me as well.
So now that we know what characters each of us are playing, the basic premise is we've already went on an epic quest, we've slayed all the monsters, we've came home with all the loot and all the gold, and now we're going to celebrate at our favorite tavern at the end of the night, the Red Dragon Inn. So what happens is basically we each have our characters decks in front of us, and we have two stats that we need to worry about during the game. Our first stat is our, what's it called again, Matt?
The red one represents fortitude.
Fortitude, basically physical damage. You want to avoid having your fortitude drop too much, because if you get too weak, you won't be in the game anymore. And the other stat is
Your sobriety.
your sobriety, because what would you want to do in a tavern other than maybe indulge in a few recreational drinks? So the interesting thing is cards that can get played during the game by yourself or by other people will sometimes cause characters to take physical damage, which will cause your fortitude number to get lower. Other cards can cause people to have to take drinks, whether they like to or not. And when that happens, your sobriety level can get lower. Now, if these two numbers should ever wind up crossing, that actually knocks you out of the game. And the other factor we have to worry about is gold, because what are you going to do in a bar? Well, you need to buy drinks, and you can't buy them if you run out of gold. So we'll also be doing some gambling mini games during the game and tipping the waitress, things like that. So if you pass out, you're out of the game. If you go broke, you're out of the game. Let's try and avoid those two things happening, shall we?
Sounds like a plan.
Do let's.
So, out of the four of us, the player who has the most experience playing this game in particular is my good friend Matt. So I think we've nominated Matt to be the first player to start the game. So let's make sure we have our two stats at 20 fortitude and 0 for our sobriety. And go ahead and start us off, Matt.
So to start the game off, everybody gets a drink card.
Thank you.
That we'll be consuming later.
Thank you.
And we start with a hand size of 6.
Excellent. So let's each draw 6 cards off the top of our decks.
All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is discard and draw. So I'm going to discard 1 card and draw back up to 6. Next, I'm going to play my first action card.
Okay.
Why you laugh at Grog?
I'm sorry.
Lose 2 fortitude.
Oh! I'm really sorry. That's not cool.
At this point, I'm going to buy a drink for our new friend, Aaron here,
Aaron likes drinks. That's good.
and I'm going to drink.
It's not untrue.
What does yours say, Matt?
So I have Elven wine, which means that I go up by 3 alcohol content.
All those elven wines, they've got a bit of a kick to them.
They do.
So I guess it's up to me now. So
Your
for
turn.
me, I'm going to wind up looking at my 6 cards and see if there's any I want to discard without having to play right now. I'm going to pick, let's see, this one I'm going to toss because I don't really think I need it right now. And this one I'm going to toss. So I'm going to discard 2 cards, which then allows me to draw 2 other cards back up into my hand. So I get back up to 6. Then I can play an action. Oh, here's a good one. I have a question for you, Matt.
Yes.
Have you seen my poison? I left it in a mug that was sitting right here. So I'm picking a player. It has to be you, my good friend Gog. You're going to be losing 3 fortitude because I think you may have accidentally drank my poison. It was in a mug right here.
He's out to get you already.
That not hurt. This hurt.
Uh-oh.
I'm playing a sometimes action card in response to your action card.
Okay.
I can play this immediately after a player makes me lose fortitude.
Okay.
They also lose 2 fortitude.
Ooh, do you still lose your 3?
I do.
All right, well, I'll take 2 more. That lowers me down to 16. Clearly, I'm not sneaky enough yet. So I've played an action. Now I get to buy drinks. So I'm going to buy a drink off the top of the deck, and I'm going to get you to slide this down to my good friend Troy at the end, because we want to make sure that he eventually has enough to drink. And then I'm going to have to enjoy my own delicious beverage off the top of my deck. My delicious beverage is a dark ale with a chaser. So that's actually a great time for me to draw that card, because I didn't get any bonus alcohol into me. And then that is the end of my turn.
Okay, so for my turn, I'm going to play. So then I get the ogre in a headlock like this, and I'm going to definitely play that on Grog, which is fitting.
Right.
And I get to pick another player, and they lose 3 fortitude.
Everybody's picking on Grog.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Grog's still okay.
So then I'm going to buy a drink for you because you look pretty thirsty,
That's fair.
and then I will have my
Alright.
drink. Ooh, I also have an elven wine, so I have to drink. But I'm going to play a sometimes card. This is just the thing to get the blood off my sword, and I get to ignore a drink card.
All right.
It is now your turn.
So I'm going to look at my discard opportunities, and because I'm new to the game, I don't know what those are. So I'm just going to go right on to the next step here,
Excellent, excellent.
which is the action phase, I believe. So I am actually going to play the gambling I'm in action.
Excellent.
Play this card during your action phase to start a round of gambling. Each player antes 1 gold, and you are currently winning.
Ooh, so ante up in the middle there. And then I would assume it proceeds to you to have a chance to play.
Gambling, Gog in. So now, having played this card after gambling has started, I have now taken control of the round of gambling.
So I'm going to choose to pass and hope that the gambling round doesn't end before it gets back to me again.
So would I now have to take over the round of gambling, or
So you can pass.
But if you
So-
do and Aaron can't play anything, then Matt's going to wind up winning, because if it gets around with nobody interacting, then he wins the money in the middle.
so I'm actually going to raise.
So,
So everyone
we all
has
ante in
to
again.
pay 1 additional gold.
and that's mandatory, right? You can't, or can you opt out of that?
You can't opt out of that unless Do not bother, Gog. So I can play this card when I must ante, so that way I can leave the round of gambling.
And you're now out of
And
all
I'm
future
now
gambling?
out of any future gambling.
Okay.
And I also take control of the round of gambling.
Yes, so right now you're winning.
Okay.
Now it's up to Aaron if he wants to.
That would be unfortunate if I raised.
Oh, I'm really enjoying this. I think I might raise myself.
Oh, okay.
One for me. And now I'm winning in this round of gambling.
Gog happy to not be gambling.
I'm very
Yeah.
happy to not be gambling. So Troy,
Grog made
do you have an
one.
action to
Good
take, or
choice.
am I going to start winning some money?
You're going to start winning some money now, unfortunately.
I think you're gonna start.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Look at that! The host gets to win the money for the first hand. That's exciting.
I've learned a moral lesson.
A moral lesson. We'll see
Yeah.
then our job here is done, really. Thanks for coming, everyone. I'm drinking water.
He's drinking water.
I'm drinking water.
See, I don't like you just drinking water, so I'm going to play a sometimes card. Drink up, friend.
It says it's coffee. We're cutting you off. I actually lose 1 alcohol content. So thank you. This game is just, can I just say, this is clearly the best game ever made.
And that's not at all because you're doing well.
No!
No, okay.
See,
not
for
bad.
such a
It's not
big
bad.
guy, you're having some pretty small drinks, though.
God knows his limits and stays within it.
Hey, no more chainmail bikini jokes. I heard that. It's going to throw my mug right at you.
Unsensitive.
Rude.
Hey.
I'm sneaky. I thought I whispered.
Yeah, no, I heard
I
that.
have to work on my skills.
Gog may have repeated it.
Gotcha.
Are you saying I'm grumpy?
I feel targeted.
Sorry, Gurky.
Stealing from a thief, that never
Almost
pays
got him.
off. Anytimes, I can play them anytime.
Anytime.
I can even theoretically play 2 back-to-back. Could I
You
not?
can.
So, looking down at Troy,
Fiona.
Fiona, tip the wench. A player of my choice must pay 1 gold to the inn.
Okay. That goes right in there. Oh, boy.
Then,
Oh,
I'm
boy.
looking at your last gold over there, Fiona, and well, I don't see your name on it. Pick a player. They have to pay me 1 gold.
I don't think so.
Oh, my God.
Negate a sometimes card.
You're my hero.
But it's an anytime.
Oh, no.
Will it work?
Yeah, no, it won't work.
Oh
Oh,
no!
because mine's an anytime
Oh,
card.
no.
So
Oh, no.
please don't make
Oh,
me
no.
be last. You're all ganging up on me.
No.
I tried.
everything's- I thank you.
Remember me when you're busy.
Sorry, here you go.
So,
Oh, that's painful.
all right. I'm not officially the first one out.
Oh, no.
That would have been.
My biggest fear comes true.
And then, so I did some many times. I do get to buy a drink. I'm going to buy. Who's been the mean? Well, you don't have a drink, so I'm going to buy
Who's
you a drink.
meanest?
Gog also mean.
See, I think he chose these board games and he was up all night practicing.
Just cramming them. Just
At the end of my turn, I get to consume another delicious beverage. So let's go to the next drink on my drink pile. And it is a dark ale. I'm going to gain 1 alcohol content. So I'm going to go up to 2 on my alcohol content. And I'm at 9 at my fortitude. So these numbers are getting close together. And I'm feeling a little nervous here at the end of the tavern. And that's the end of my turn. So then we will be going over to Dimly the Dwarf.
All right. Gog, I'm gonna have to ask you to stop using my head as a table.
Seems fair.
They lose 1 fortitude.
Seem fair.
It's
Seem
the
fair.
perfect height for God.
Fair request.
Seem fair.
It's just right there.
And then after that, so now I buy drinks.
And how will you be distributing said drinks?
Gog's gonna get 2. And you're gonna get 1.
That seems fair.
Full up on some drinks there, and then I am going to troll swill. Oh, that's a finger. I lose 1 fortitude, and I gain 1 alcohol content,
Which are both bad.
which are both bad. If you're the troll, you gain 2 instead of 1. I chose to drink that off of stats and not what was actually the content of the drink.
Gambling? Gog in.
Can't you see I'm talking to the pretty bearded lass here? Play this card when you must ante to avoid paying and leave the round of gambling.
So you're automatically out.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's a quick round of gambling because I have nothing to interact with. So you just take my money. Take my money, Gog.
Happy. Why you laugh at Grog?
I didn't laugh. I really didn't.
No laugh at Gog.
I'm sorry.
Lose 2 fortitude.
You laugh with God.
I'm very lightheaded now. Fortitude is at 7 and my sobriety is at 4, so we're pretty close.
This is the curse of
I'm
hosting
just
this
gonna
whole
wait for them to kick.
I bring you all together to my tavern, and this is the thanks I get.
So we can throw drinks at you and beat you up.
Buy you another drink. You look like you only had one there. And I'm going to drink one of mine. Light ale. Gog, enjoy.
Excellent. And you're good.
And my turn is finished.
And then at the start of my turn, I'm going to
Just
discard one
take
card
it.
that's useless. That leaves me with 2, so I'm going to draw 4 more. 4. Oh, I have bad news.
Oh, what kind of bad news?
Well, it turns out that's not healing salve. It's actually a poison. So, sorry, Gog, it wasn't the healing salve that we thought it would be. So,
Stop poking Gog.
again. Okay. I'll stop poking Gog. Then that was my action. So, buy drinks. Gog, this is getting personal. Have a drink, Gog.
Congratulations.
Let's see, can I fade a bad drink here? It's a drink event, so I think I'm okay because I have nothing below me.
Correct?
Okay,
That's fantastic.
that is fantastic. I'm
Lucky.
surprised.
Well, you have like 1 left or 2, or where are you?
2. I'm at 4 and
He
7.
can
so-
take 2 points of damage. He needs to
Without-
take 3 to...
Yeah. Back to Dimley,
4, 5.
who's got a huge lead and a lot of chips. I feel like we know where this is ending.
Yeah.
Hey, he's the one hiding in the shadows, like, don't worry about me.
Yeah,
I
it
haven't
is-
played before.
I'm just a dwarf here. I
We're-
just drank.
We're doing a little of this right now.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna
indeed.
buy you a drink. I'm actually not taking an action.
Oh, okay.
Buy you a drink.
Total brawl around him. Just,
But Jason, you have this. I'm waiting for the good stuff.
So that card, just so that way we know, give the drink you're about to drink to another player. They take the
Oh,
effects of the
no.
drink instead of you. So this card is
Oh.
currently active.
Well, I have to say, I don't think so.
But I don't think so.
Oh, you've got to be kidding
yes.
me. You've got to be kidding me. Well,
So, just so you guys are aware, the only card that stops an I don't think so is an I don't think so.
Yeah.
and that, my friends, is all the alcohol I can handle. So I am out of the game.
Uh-oh.
It stings. It stings.
Gog, it's down to us.
Gimli.
My turn is finished.
Okay.
Do I cheer for Gog because Dimly eliminated me? Or do I cheer against
Gambling.
Gog?
Gog in.
Gambling. Dimly in.
Gog have winning hand.
Oh,
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay. Well, I'll just
that's gonna do it.
nice. Who would have thought Gog would be such a good gambler?
Gog's not dumb.
This is the part where you let the half orc win.
I'm a half ogre.
Half oh.
Way bigger.
Oh. I am sorry for
Way
much
bigger.
bigger. Light ale with chaser.
And I'm gonna spike that with firewater.
Oh, how big does that get?
add 2 alcohol.
This tastes yucky.
The wench thinks you should pay for stop playing with your drinks.
What does that one do?
Negate a sometimes card that changes the effect of a drink card.
Oh, that actually works.
So yeah, so I end up losing the game.
Ooh,
Wow.
got him.
Aaron playing Dimly the Dwarf, the first timer, never played before, somehow outdrank us all.
Well done, sir.
Good
This
job.
is a bit of a joke within my circle of friends. This is my luck. Whenever I touch a game first, I usually win it.
Fair enough. Okay, so we have a quick little round table to discuss the
That
game
actually
for a
happened
minute.
really fast. I didn't expect it to just explode.
Oh, just that one drink put you over the top.
Yeah, exactly.
That can
Like, I thought
happen.
it was gonna be another round or 2, and then boom.
So let's talk about the game just for a second, and then we'll get to who gets to go down this crazy train of hot wings after.
Yeah, absolutely.
But talking about the game, I'm just going to go through each of you real quick one time. So Troy, just throw me a number and a sentence or two on your first impression.
First impression, I absolutely loved it when I saw it a couple years ago.
And 1 to 10 for first impression.
I would say 8.
And then what about ease for people learning?
It's
With
a-
1 to 10, how easy do you think it is for
So
someone to
10
learn?
being like easy, or
10 being
yeah.
great and easy to learn.
I'd say 10. Like
Really?
everything is right on the cards.
Okay. Quality of the game. Playing the game and seeing the physical quality of it, 1 to 10 on how good you think the quality is for the game.
I'm gonna give it a 9. I just absolutely love the art on the cards, and they're so clean, and everything is very sturdy, and it doesn't feel cheap.
I definitely love the artwork on the cards.
Yeah.
Last two real quick, just a number for each. Overall fun to play, 1 to 10.
It could definitely be a 10.
Okay, and likely to recommend to others, scale of 1 to 10.
In my own circle of friends, 8. I think it's a pretty solid game. It's definitely not going to be for everyone, but I absolutely love it. I would recommend it to any one of my friends.
Phenomenal. Moving on to Aaron, we're going to start off the same
Yeah.
way. When we start playing today, just shoot me a number and a couple sentences
Yeah.
on what you thought for first impressions.
All right, I'm a bit of a harsh judge, but
Okay.
so first impressions, I'm giving this an 8 based off of it. Went up slightly with the take that elements that we started interacting with
Yeah.
later on.
Yep.
I think that just bumped it up a bit. Ease to learn, throwing that at a 9. Quality of the game pieces, packaging, etc. Once again, like I said, I'm just harsh on my judge, so I had this at 7. Everything here I like. I think it's the worth is definitely there. Overall fun to play. Once again, I have that listed as a 7 in terms of overall play. I'm gonna meld this into my likelihood to recommend is set at an 8 because I can bring this to most of my circles of friends. We're in between our strategy games. Hey, let's play a round of Red Dragon Inn.
Awesome. Matt, same categories?
So first impression, I love the game. It's quite simple. It's quite easy. There's nothing wrong with the game that way. It's easy to learn. I put at a 7. While everybody can learn to play it, there's a good chance that the rules may be questioned quite often towards those beginning few
Yeah.
rounds or times that you play it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've given it a 7 there. Quality, I've given it an 8. The card art is fantastic.
Yeah.
The cards, however, are a mostly paper and not plastic card.
Yeah, if they ever wanted to make a premium version, there would be opportunities there for them to make
For
a
sure, there
premium
definitely would be,
collector's
yeah.
edition.
Yeah.
For sure.
Overall fun to play, definitely an 8. It's a solid 8 for me. The only thing that makes it lower than a 10 actually is a position that Troy ended up in, where he was out for more than he was in the game. So that's the one thing that does bring the fun factor down, is if you're the player that ends up not playing half the game, it can kind of wane on you a little bit that
Sure.
way. But likely to recommend, it's a 10. I've actually bought this game for multiple sets of my friends.
That's awesome. For me, my first impressions, I remember when I first played this game years ago, it was around an 8 right off the hop for me. I was really impressed with it, and I continue to love it to this day. I would agree with the numbers a lot of some of you gave for ease to learn. I would rate it about a 7. The quality of the game for me is an 8. That was a number I heard from other people as well. Just physically, they could go a little bit better if they wanted with the cardstock quality. For me, overall fun to play, I actually give it a 10 out of 10. This is one of my favorite board games to ever play. I disclosed that at the start. That's one of my favorites. And likely to recommend others is also a 10 for me, because I do recommend it all the time. This is one of those games that I think for most people it's an automatic one of in your board game collection home for when friends come over, because it's really easy to explain. So that's it. We've taken a look at the game. We've all played it. We've reviewed it. Now the discussion, the exciting part for how we're going to end this is, who do we feel should be in the hot seat? Who do we feel either and you can internalize it however you want, got knocked out first, Troy.
Yeah, no,
or,
it's totally
you know,
fair. Just remember $20 to whoever doesn't vote for me.
didn't get into the spirit of the game, whatever. We'll start with Troy first. You can vote. Who do you think should be in the hot seat today?
I'm going to vote. You know what? It's actually really tough because you guys all did a really good job. You played it really well. I can't vote for you because you did an amazing voice almost the whole time. I couldn't do Fiona because like my voice is feeling really scratchy and I don't want to like goof it
Sure.
up.
Fair.
But I guess that just trickles down to you.
Yeah.
Dude,
Aaron,
I'm
one vote for
sorry.
Aaron.
I'm sorry. Like, you
winner
won,
of the
so
game.
I'm holding a grudge.
Won the game, still got the first vote.
Yeah,
Aaron,
sorry.
moving on quickly.
Like,
Who
nothing
would you
personal, I
vote
just
for?
have
Who
to-
do you think should be in the hot seat?
Oh,
Bearing in mind who
boy.
just voted for you.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
I tried to save you.
You did. Oh, shoot.
Oh, that's true. No, don't take these back.
No.
It's only a half-hour show.
I'm sorry. You did. You did. All
Aaron,
right.
my friend, I
Yep.
gotta give you.
One vote
No,
for
it's
Aaron,
totally
one vote
fine.
for Troy. I love it. Matt?
So I'm actually going to vote for Aaron as well. Not because he didn't play the game well, or because he didn't get into character, but just because the cards in his hand didn't let him play the game as much. There were 3 or 4 turns where you weren't able to play an action, which is unfortunate, but it takes
Well,
takes a
I
portion
had
of
a
the
lot
game
of
out.
responses I was holding on to.
You were playing very defensively, but I'm going to vote for you for
Yeah,
that
no, that's fair.
reason.
So currently we have 2 votes for Aaron, we have 1 vote for Troy, and me being a bit of a disturber of the peace, I'm also going to vote for Troy
Yeah,
to force
naturally.
a tie. So because we have a tie, 2 votes for Aaron, 2 votes for Troy, we're going to go off camera to our producer from Rogers, and they're going to get to be the tiebreaker. So just by pointing to our lovely producer, who do we think should be the one to join me and suffer in the hot seat? It looks like the winner of the
Really?
game, Aaron, is also officially the loser of the game.
Guys,
So
if
in
you were
just a
really
moment-
expecting 20
Yeah,
bucks, I don't
enemies
have
when
that
you're
much.
fantastic.
Yes, it's lonely at the top, right?
Yeah.
You won, you knocked everybody
And
else out,
spicy.
and now you have to suffer for it. Yeah. So we'll be back in just a minute, and my good friend Aaron is going to be sitting in the hot seat and joining me for some crazy hot wings. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. And we're back. As you can see, my good friend Aaron is now seated in the hot seat. Aaron, how does it feel to be seated in the hot seat right now?
Currently, okay. Ask me in 2 minutes.
Ask you if I can still speak in 2 minutes. I will gladly ask you. So what we're about to do is Aaron and I are going to go on a journey together to enjoy some heartbeat hot sauce. I've got a little bit of experience with heat. Aaron, not so much. So this is going to be an exciting adventure. Are you ready, sir?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Excellent. Your reward for winning today is everybody hated you and they voted you to lose. So
Yeah.
congratulations. Cheers, my friend.
To battle.
To battle. And here we go.
So Troy, I think that the Red Dragon Inn would be a really great game for anybody who's got any type of experience with a togetherness at a bar type of scene. So I know the box does say 12 plus, but I would think more of a 17, 18 plus nature, even though it
Yeah.
is fairly, brought back for the game, but it was really, really a lot of fun. What did you think?
I think you're correct. The game itself can easily be played by anyone 12 and up and even younger than that. But I think for the proper atmosphere to really enjoy it, could definitely be like young adult or like 17, 18 plus for sure.
So guys, how were the wings?
So pretty hot. Kind of where you'd expect it to be. How was it for you, Aaron?
I enjoyed it.
He's got no
Could be
excuses
worse.
anymore. If you see this man in Thunder Bay, make him eat some hot sauce because he's proven he can handle it. Don't
See-
take no for an answer.
Looks like you guys did really well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, the trick is you eat it as fast as you can so that you suffer later when the camera's off. And with that being said, it's just about time for this episode to end because I don't know how much longer I can hold out. So I'd like to take one last moment to thank all 3 of my panelists for joining me. Thank you, Troy.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
And Matt, thank you for joining us here on Game Night in the North. We'll see you soon, and in the meantime, have some fun out there. Bye-bye.